it's really just a breath of fresh air. I mean, Steve Cohen, what he's brought to this team, Sandy Alderson, talk about the Lindor, Carrasco we talked about, but I mean, this kind of reminds me of that 2015 going into it, just like, okay, this is just a breath of fresh air. That rotation was amazing. You had a lot of young guys. This kind of feels the same, but with money back up to it. Now, I don't think the Mets are going to make the World Series. And even going into 2015, I didn't think the Mets are going to make the World Series and win it. But it just kind of has that like new feeling to it, this new chapter of the Mets. And that's something that I'm really excited about. And for me, the expectations of this team is like, you don't really know yet, but for me, it's playoffs. Like if they make the playoffs, I'm happy, and you kind of build on that. But the thing with the Mets is going to worry me. It's that bullpen. I've seen Edwin Diaz blow too many games, and you have Lugo go down, who he was the rock of that bullpen. He goes down, and they didn't really add anyone besides Trevor May. He was their big get, but then you lose Lugo, and it's like, where are we going to be? And I like the rotation and what they're doing. They just added Taijuan Walker, who's going to be number 99. I love that. But that bullpen scares me, and just especially because the MLB is going towards bullpen. You need bullpen depth. If I'm the Mets, I want to bolster this bullpen, and now it's going to have to happen during the season. Right now, you're not going to probably get anybody good, but that's a piece of this Mets team that really worries me.
Yeah, quick note there. The Yankees stole Justin Wilson from the Mets.
He's going to be great with the Yankees. Nice to see it.
Yeah, that was a great deal. I'm surprised to hear you say that with the 15, because I feel like there's a 2015. I feel like there's a lot more pressure on this team. You just traded for Francisco Lindor. He was the best player that switched teams this offseason. You have to make some noise. Obviously, the Yankees have sky high expectations. I'm really high in the Mets, and I think everyone should be, and the expectations should be there. Obviously, they're in a competitive division. They're probably still not better than the Braves. And I do agree with you, playoff mandate. I really think Rojas probably is tied to the playoffs at this point, because this regime isn't the one who brought him in. But I think the Mets, they easily have the talent to make the playoffs. The lineup is a lot better. And especially when you do have Lindor on that contract year, Conforto, Syndergaard, who's hurt on the contract year, I think the Mets have to make some noise. If they go 87 and 75, squeak into the second wild card and get bounced, I don't really think that's a successful season. I think the Mets should have expectations, because I think they're that good. I think when you look at the lineup, there's not really that many holes. And as you said, the number one thing is absolutely the bullpen. You're a Mets fan, so you've seen so many, heartbreakers after heartbreaker where the bullpen falls apart. And I feel like you have to address that more with another move. I don't really know with the Lugo thing. He should be back, but that's definitely concerning. So if I was a Mets fan like you are, I would say I'd expect this team to make the playoffs, and I have expectations on them for a reason. Steve Cohen, he has brought in a new culture, obviously, with Jared Porter gone, Mickey Callaway gone. There's kind of a zero tolerance policy. I was glad to see him cut bait with Jared Porter kind of immediately. Yeah. It shows a new change of the guard. And if you're a Mets fan, I think you have to be pumped up. This is a really big year. You got the guy in free agency, right? Like, how often does that happen? You got Francisco Lindor. So, I'd have big expectations if I was a Mets fan for sure.
I think regardless, when you're a New York team, you're going to have some sort of high expectations.
Yeah.
But like you said, Ryan, now you bring in Lindor, and that's just game changing. I mean, you went on social media the day that trade was made, and you couldn't see a Mets fan on Instagram not reposting something with their story of, oh, Lindor this, Lindor that. And as a Yankee fan, you feel a little bit, okay, nice, cool, yeah. We get it, you got him. But it's you feel that way for a reason, because now, all right, tough guys, let's see what you can do over there in Queens. I mean, I'm very interested to see. I think this Mets team is going to be very exciting. I don't know what standards I want to set for them, because again, the Mets have had certain years and a lot of games where they look great, and then, like you said, the bullpen goes and screws it all up. So you're going to have a lot of ups and downs, I think, with this season. The real key to me is making the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, that's where the noise, of course, is made. Postseason baseball is just so much different to me than any other sport, because you get hot as a pitcher or as a hitter, and you get guys playing together who are on a heater together. You have no clue what's going to happen. It can be anything spectacular, and that's what I think this Mets team really can kind of embody with the sort of star power that they've established, and now, especially with Steve Cohen, the new culture that they brought upon the team.
No, I completely agree. And I think this Mets team, if they get in, even a wild card spot, which I think they're going to be around, you get in a one-game playoff with Jacob deGrom, and you're liking your chances, even if you're going up against a team like the Padres or, whoever doesn't win the NL West. I mean, I'm still kind of liking my chances because you have Jacob deGrom, the best pitcher in baseball, in my opinion. But to me, I don't think it's a make or break playoffs, even though my expectations are playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, I think they will. Let's say they win like 85 games, or maybe they lose in the wild card round. I'm like, okay, it's better than last year, much better. I think Cohen is gonna put out the money to sign Lindor to a super contract. I mean, I think that they're gonna re-sign Syndergaard, re-sign Conforto if they feel like they're pieces of this team. And I feel like this is going to be a sustainable winner. I think that's what Cohen's going to bring. And I mean, he talked about being the Dodgers of the East. And that's something that, to me, hearing that, I do believe with Cohen and his pockets, his deep pockets, I think that's something that he can do. And it's reasonable, which, I mean, who would have thought this? I mean, if you would have told me this a year ago with the Wilpons, I mean, I can't even imagine.